Hey, what's up? I'm Ashley. Thank you for watching this video, and today we're going to be talking about First Kill, episodes 1 through 4. The timestamps for each episode will be down in the description, and let's get started. In episode 1, called First Kiss, we see Juliet getting ready for school. We see her come downstairs, and her family is getting on her for not having her first kill yet, because if you wait too long, you're going to start getting sick. Juliet already has these headaches every day. She's taking these pills, and she keeps running out of them fast because her body's trying to tell her, girl, you need to hurry up and kill somebody. Oh yeah, Juliet and her whole family are vampires. I somehow left that out. So anyway, they stay on her nuts about having her first kill, but Juliet's like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to kill anybody. They're like, girl, you're going to have to get over it. So then we see Juliet's best friend Ben come to pick her up so they can go to school. And that's when we found out that when they were 12, they dated for a little bit, but it didn't last long because them being together, they realized that they both were gay. Ben is popular and Juliet is only popular by association. We found out that Ben has a crush on this guy named Noah, but Noah has a girlfriend right now. So they're at school and we see Juliet taking her pills because she's having another headache. She's trying to control it. She's trying not to bite anybody. And so while they're at school, we find out that Juliet has a crush on the new girl named Cal. It just so happened that they bumped into each other and Juliet dropped all her pills on the ground. And that's when they introduced themselves to each other, but Cal already knew Juliet's name. I was like, oh, okay. Juliet made the whole thing a little awkward, but they started talking about the classes that they have together. Ben was in the back being the hype man, and he motioned to Juliet to invite Cal to the party. Cal was like, I don't really like parties. Juliet said, me either, but if we go, maybe I'll see you. And before Cal could walk off, Juliet grabbed her by the arm. I said, what's she doing? It was a bee on Cal's shoulder, and Juliet took it off of her. I'm like, that's a daredevil right there. So then we get to this part where we see them in the same class together, and Juliet cannot take her eyes off of Cal. After class, she's trying to rush out to catch Cal, but she's clumsy and knocked all her books down to the floor. She couldn't catch up with her. And so she's walking to her locker now, and that's when she sees this bracelet on the floor and she goes to pick it up. But when she picked it up, it shocked her and she ran right to the bathroom, and when she opened up her hand, it looked like it was a bite mark on her hand or something. Her fangs started popping out of her mouth, but when she started thinking about Cal, her fangs went away. So now we're at this party and they're playing spin the bottle. Juliet spent the bottle first and it landed on somebody, but Ben turned the bottle and made it land on Cal. That's a real friend right there. So both Cal and Juliet take a shot before they go into that linen closet to play 7 Minutes in Heaven. And Juliet didn't waste no time. She went right in. And Cal was like, oh, you don't waste no time. Juliet said, I've been waiting to do this. So they go at it again and it was hot. They started knocking down the cherries. I said, oh, I want a cherry though. But Juliet couldn't control herself and she bit Cal on the neck. And that's when it flashes and we go back before this whole party even happened and we get to find out Cal's story. We find out that Cal and her family are monster hunters and they're only in a certain city for only a few months. They kill the monsters and they leave. So Cal doesn't see the point in making new friends because she's never in the city long enough to. So we got to see her getting ready for school that day, all before she met Juliet. We see her go monster hunting with her two brothers, Theo and Apollo, but she can only be the lookout because she had her chance to kill once and she failed at it, so her family hasn't given her another chance at it yet. But she's dying to kill something. So when she was out with her brothers, she saw the chance to help her brothers out because she was trying to give them a warning like, hey, a monster coming. But they didn't pick up. They didn't reply to her. So she went in to go try to kill it. But she was about to lose that battle again because that monster was a vampire. Her brothers had to take that vampire down. And it disintegrated right there on the graveyard grounds. Stay over there fighting monsters in the graveyard. So now we get to this part where Cal and Juliet met for the first time when they bumped into each other. And we saw that after Juliet walked away, Cal picked up one of the pills that Juliet dropped on the ground. And when she squeezed it, blood came out. So that let her know that Juliet was a daywalker. She was a vampire. She caught her. So anytime after that, anytime that we saw them looking at each other, smiling at each other, giving each other that little flirty look, Cal was pretending, while Juliet was the only one really being sincere about the whole thing because she really does have a crush on her. So being that Cal found this out and that she's a monster hunter, she was like, I'm about to get this girl. So that's when we get to see that Cal purposely put her bracelet on the floor because she knew that Juliet would pick it up. She was watching her the whole time to see if she would react to the silver because vampires are sensitive to silver. And you know she is sensitive to it because she has to rush to the bathroom because her hand was all burnt up. So when Cal was at this party, she already knew that Juliet was a vampire. So when she went into that closet with her, she was already prepared to kill her. So when Juliet bit her on her neck, Cal reached behind her back, pulled out the stake, and stabbed her right in the chest with it. And then that's when we go into episode 2, titled First Blood. Juliet fell down to the floor and Cal started running up out of there. But when she ran and got on the bus, she noticed that the bite marks wasn't on her neck anymore. So she's out here thinking that she got her first kill, but joke's on her because Juliet is over there waking up. And while all of this is happening, a girl at the party named Ashley is dead. I'm pretty sure that this lady right here did it, but nobody's noticing because everybody's in shambles. Ben did make eye contact with her, but I don't think he thought anything of it because he was like, Ashley dead on the floor. So between all of that, Juliet has now left the party and we see Juliet coming back home from the party and her parents are thinking that she finally had her first kill because she has blood all over her face. They're like, it's about time, don't worry, we'll take care of the body. So then that's when we see her sister, Eleanor, and she's at this hospital and she's washing this doctor's memory away from this murder. Because he was telling Eleanor that he hasn't seen a body after a murder like this since he became a doctor a long time ago, when the body is just ripped open, organs are missing. So she used her superpower that no one else in her family has to erase this doctor's memory and made him believe that Ashley, the girl that died at the party, died because she got too drunk, fell, and hit her head. Now, the only reason why she's doing this in the first place is because she thinks that her sister Juliet killed this girl when she really didn't. It was that black lady standing there looking creepy. It's funny because Juliet's family think that she ripped this girl's liver out for her first kill. And her father is really tripping out. He's like, my daughter can't be doing this. He doesn't want her to be too violent. While Cal was still out trying to get home, her mom and brothers was going through it at the house because a monster was up in their house. All because one of her brothers, Apollo, took something that didn't belong to him when they were out there killing the monsters in the graveyard. So it followed them back home. And they were all mad at him because when that monster came in there, he tore up the whole house. But when Cal finally came home, she told her mom that she made her first kill and that it was a vampire, but she doesn't know why it didn't disintegrate. Her mom was like, that doesn't make any sense because they're all supposed to disintegrate. So later on, she had her demonstrate on how she said she killed this vampire. So after she showed her, her mom was like, okay, I believe you. So they're having this visual for Ashley and everybody is out there. Even Juliet and her parents. Her parents think that Juliet is the one who actually killed this girl. So they there over there being fake. Even Cal and Cal's mom, Talia, is there. And you can kind of tell that Cal's mom knows that something is up when they both end up walking away. They end up on top of this roof and both Cal and Juliet start fighting up there. Cal hit Juliet so hard, all this blood started coming out of her mouth. But then when Juliet's blood got on Cal's hand got paralyzed. She couldn't move. She fell down to the floor. Cal was like, what you do to me? Why I can't move my hand? So that's when Juliet let her know that it's not her that's doing it. It's her blood. And not to worry, it'll wear off soon. And then that's when she ran away. They did end up getting in trouble for being on the roof. They had to have a meeting with the principal with their moms. They basically lied and said that the reason why they were on the roof is because Juliet needed to get away because she was so emotional over Ashley. But while they were in there, Talia texted Cal and was like, is this the girl you staked? But Cal didn't answer her though. But her mama know what's up. That's why when Margot, Juliet's mom, invited her over to the house for dinner, she was like, yeah, I'll come, because she like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you when I come. At this point, I'm not sure if Apollo knows who Eleanor is, but they met each other at this bar. But she was flirting heavy with him. And the reason why I'm like, I'm not sure is because right after this, we saw Apollo and the whole family gathered. People who they haven't seen in a while was all in the house. Even Cal's father showed up. They let Cal know that she was right this whole time and that she did stake Juliet the right way, but she didn't die because she's a legacy vampire. Legacy vampires mean that they were born vampires thousands of years ago, so it's harder to kill them. They can even walk out in the daylight, so that makes them harder to spot, and it's all thanks to her that she found them, and that now that they found them, they all must die. So now we get into episode 3 called First Fight, and these monster hunters are preparing to kill these vampires. They're training, they're trying to get ready for it. Juliet is trying on all of these dresses for her consecration ceremony because she had her first kill. Everybody coming to town to watch this girl have her ceremony. Her grandmother even came into town for this ceremony, and she's being bougie. But Juliet doesn't even want to have this ceremony. None of her friends can come. She didn't even have her real first kill. Her sister knows that she hasn't had her first kill yet, and we found out while the ceremony was going on that her mom knew that she didn't have it yet when Juliet was still trying to back out of it. When she was telling her mom about how she didn't want to have the ceremony, her mom started talking about how she's not accepted with the family. She hasn't even seen them in years, all because she chose to marry a human. She ran away on her wedding day and didn't marry the man that her family wanted her to marry. She did end up biting her husband, so he's like half vampire now. She understands why her daughter doesn't want to have the ceremony, so Juliet was going to go out there and call the whole thing off. Also, during this whole ceremony, the estranged brother Oliver showed up. Seems like everyone in the family is mad at him besides Juliet. He was like, I don't care what y'all say or think. I'm here to support my sister Juliet. So anyway, back at the monster hunter's house, Cal's parents decided that she can be a part of this whole monster killers thing, especially her mom, because her mom didn't really want her to do it because she failed on her first try. Since she is the one who found these legacy vampires, they're like, okay, she can be a part of this. But Cal messed up when she told Tess, what if these monsters really aren't monsters? Maybe they think we're monsters. You know, she was trying to confide in her, ask for some advice, but Tess went and snitched on her. They thought that was a sign of weakness, so she couldn't go out there and kill the vampires with them. She had to stay home and be babysat. But the babysitter was trying to kidnap her. He tied her up, taped her mouth shut, and was like, I wonder what kind of promotion I would get if I dragged you out of here. You got bit by a legacy vampire, right? There's no telling what kind of reaction you get. I'd be the hero turning you in. So while she's running away from him, she ends up getting caught by Juliet's sister, Eleanor. She tied her up to a tree and told Juliet, here, kill her by her neck. Oliver shows up and ends up helping Juliet untie Cal from this tree. After her mouth is untied, Cal is trying to tell Juliet to run because she knows her family is about to attack hers, but it's too late because in episode 4, titled First Date, the family is on the loose and they out there killing all these vampires. So they think. Because as quick as they killed them, they became alive again just as quick. Because these are legacy vampires, they don't die easily. So they all came back to life. They was like, what's going on? But Sebastian, Juliet's father, didn't recover as quick because he's only half a vampire. He had to get bitten to become a vampire. But who was really dead was Tess's parents. You know, the snitch, her parents, both of them ended up dying. Juliet saved Cal from being kidnapped. Cal thought that she killed the man, but it turned out that he wasn't dead because he popped back up. And when he popped back up, Juliet killed him. Bit him right there on the neck. And then when she looked up, that's when she realized, uh-oh, I done showed myself. I showed myself to my crush and my best friend. That's how her best friend, Ben, found out that she was a vampire. So all three of them are trying to hide this man's body. And then we get to see some more makeout action by the tree. I'm like, wasn't they just mad at each other? They're over here getting it in while Juliet's father is over there dying almost on his deathbed. And Cal's family is out here looking for her like crazy. They think she got kidnapped by the vampires. Eleanor was asking her grandmother, can you save my father from dying? Because she's the only one that can fix this. And she didn't want to fix it. she's still mad that her daughter married this man. But when Eleanor told her grandmother, I'll marry who you want me to marry, her grandmother switched up and was like, okay. So her grandmother took out the snake. The snake went up inside his body and kept him alive. Talia called up Margot to let her know that she has her son. She got him tied up and held for ransom, talking about, I want my daughter, because she thinks that the vampires kidnapped her daughter, but they didn't kidnap her. Margot is confused. So since her husband is feeling better, she sent her husband out to go find Juliet. So when he found them, he told them that he would take Cal home. So all three of them are in the car now. But Juliet is noticing that her father is acting different now, like kind of more stern or mean. And she's like, what's going on? She's like, something is different about you. And that's because the snake crawled up in his body. I think the grandma was being sketchy and she knew what she was doing. And this whole snake thing will not properly heal him. And on top of the dad acting weird while they were driving in this car, the lady who was at the party, who I think killed Ashley, showed up looking like a tornado. I'm like, why is she doing that for? So that's when Cal ran out the car and Juliet started running after her. But while Talia and Margot was trying to do this whole meetup and exchange kids thing, Oliver ended up catching this red string. And the red string looked like it belonged to that woman who showed up at the party and killed Ashley and was in the middle of the street looking like a tornado. That triggered him to jump. I don't know what that whole thing about, but while all this is happening, Juliet and Cal are still running away from Juliet's father. I don't know where they running to, but they running. If you want to find out, be on the lookout for my episodes 5 through 8 recap. Let me know your thoughts on this series in the comments. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already and want to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.